Today we're making gluten-free flatbreads paired with creamy roasted garlic spread. I'm also going to show you how to make your very own gluten-free all-purpose flour blend, which I'll be using for this recipe as well. We have a lot to cover, so without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, let's go ahead and make our gluten-free flour blend first. I find that it's really great as a replacement for wheat flour, but you're gonna have to play with proportions a little bit. Depending on the exact recipe you're trying to recreate, you might need a little less or a little more flour blend to replicate the consistency you're looking for. Okay, into a large jar, add in 2 cups of superfine brown rice flour, half a cup of white rice flour, half a cup of potato starch, and half a cup of tapioca flour. I'm not adding xanthan gum to my flour blend, but I will be adding it into the actual flatbread dough. If you're new to gluten-free baking, xanthan gum is used as a thickening agent and is something that is really well tolerated by almost everyone. The reason I don't want to put it into the blend is because the ratios will change depending on what I'm baking. This flour blend recipe works really well for breads, cookies, or even crepes, which I'm going to show you how to make in some future videos. Okay, moving on to the flatbread. Into a bowl, add in 1 egg at room temperature, lightly beaten, 1 cup of yogurt, I'm using organic grass-fed yogurt, and 1/4 of a cup of extra virgin olive oil. Give everything a good mix. Then you're going to add in 2.5 cups of our gluten-free flour blend from earlier, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1.5 teaspoons of xanthan gum, and a generous pinch of salt. Mix everything well and then dust your surface area with gluten-free flour blend. Transfer the dough and knead it for a few minutes until it's nice and smooth. And just remember that you're working with gluten-free dough, so it may not look it's going to come together for a while, but just give it a try, just keep kneading it and it's gonna come together eventually. And obviously you can add a little more flour if it's looking too wet. For example, this needs a little more flour so you can have the consistency of real dough. In the meantime, heat a heavy cast iron skillet over medium heat. Coat the surface evenly with avocado oil. I like this oil for high heat cooking, but you could also use ghee or coconut oil. I find that cast iron works best as it has such even heat distribution, but if you have a good non-stick pan, it will work well too. It takes a while to heat it up, so start a little ahead of time. Back to the dough. If you find that it sticks to the surface area a little too much, just dust a little bit more flour. Shape the dough into a log and divide it into similar sized pieces. Press each piece with palm of your hand first and then roll it out with a rolling pin. I don't recommend making the dough too thin as it's very delicate and it can break easily. Transfer to the skillet carefully and cook until it browns on both sides. You can let them rest on a towel, which is going to soften them a little bit. I love serving these next to any kind of curries, soups, or just eat as a snack with hummus and one of my favorites, roasted garlic and herbed olive oil, which I'm going to show you how to make right now. Get a few heads of garlic and cut off the tops to expose the cloves. Pour a generous amount of extra virgin olive oil into each head. There are a lot of nooks and crannies in there, so the oil is going to be absorbed. Top with salt and freshly cracked pepper. I'm using a heavy cast iron cocotte with the lid for this, but you can also wrap them up in a foil and bake them like that. You're gonna bake these at 400 Fahrenheit for about 45 minutes to 1 hour. If you've never tried roasted garlic, it's nothing like the raw garlic at all. It's really sweet, soft, very aromatic, but not pungent like the raw garlic is. You can make garlic aioli, put it on top of mashed potato. It's very good in pasta dishes as well, or you can just eat it as a spread with some olive oil and fresh herbs on top. My husband and I completely fell in love with it on our first trip to Big Sur, California. Every cafe and restaurant had roasted garlic on their menu, and I can see why. If you found this video helpful, give it a like, and if you're brand new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe. As always, the exact ingredients and the full recipe is going to be listed in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.